On September 11, 2001, America was viciously attacked by evil forces. 2,974 people lost their lives that day. Placing 9/11 on the calendar is another date that will live forever in infamy. Americans were shocked, devastated, and outraged by the deaths of those innocent individuals. Yet on that same day, approximately 2,500 additional Americans died of cardiovascular disease. The next day, another 2,500 people died. And again on Thursday and Friday and Saturday and the entire following week. In fact, a total of 75,000 Americans died during the month of September from cardiovascular disease. More than 25 times as many people died of cardiovascular disease that September than were killed by terrorists. Cardiovascular disease is the #1 cause of death in America. In 2001, over 900,000 people died from this silent killer. That number is more than all the American soldiers killed in battle during all the American wars combined. An aggregate 44 years of fighting over the course of more than 2 centuries has resulted in 653,406 combat deaths. Think of it. More Americans die in 1 year from cardiovascular disease than died in actual combat from all the wars we have ever fought. Heart disease is the #1 cause of death for both men and women. In fact, more women die of heart disease in the United States each year than men. In addition, studies show that women are much more anxious about developing breast cancer than cardiovascular disease. There seems to be more news and awareness regarding breast cancer than there is heart disease among women. Yet 12 times as many women will die from cardiovascular disease than breast cancer.
Arginine is a product that goes to build all the tissues of the human body. And when we find it had some therapeutic issues as well, it made me very interested in pursuing that part of it for both preventing heart disease as well as anti-aging.
As we get older, we sometimes get lazy about exercise, even intimacy. Our bodies are wearing out. We all want more energy. We want more stamina. We'd like to have greater performance with less pain. Dr. Joe Prendergast is a respected expert in arginine supplements. He's a practicing endocrinologist, and Dr. Joe has an incredible personal experience that has led him to the forefront of arginine therapy.
When I was 37 years old, I had a stomach problem, had to have a routine CAT scan. It enabled me to realize that I had the arteries of an 80-year-old man at that time. I did many things to find out what I could do. I ended up spending most of my time with cardiovascular research at Stanford, who were beginning to work on L-arginine at that time. I now have the arteries of a 15-year-old. I have no evidence of any plaque at all anywhere in my body, and we have very, very few vascular problems for anybody who has been in my practice and following what we tell them to do.
My name is Dr. Ting from HealthStats. Today I'm going to talk to you about a very interesting phenomena. It's called pulse wave, the arterial pulse wave. We have to understand how the body generates a pulse wave. And generally what happens is the heart pumps and pushes out blood. When the heart pumps, it generates a pulse wave, which is a contour wave that travels along the arterial tree. The waveform is actually generated here, and it goes right down to the big aorta, and it's reflected back when the big aorta bifurcates or divides into 2 arteries. So the speed at which the reflector wave comes back is in fact very important. So if we were to look at a person who is about 25 years old, when he generates a pulse wave from the heart, the wave will travel down, it hits the bifurcation, and it comes back to the diastolic phase. You see, when the heart pumps blood during the systolic phase, which is called systole, when the heart rests, it's called the diastole. Unlike the rest of the body, the heart only gets its blood during diastole, when the heart rests. When the heart is pumping, the whole body gets its blood, except the heart, because it's pumping. It cannot allow blood to flow through the muscle. So for a good heart function, what the heart should do is to spend the least amount of time pumping and the maximum amount of time resting, which is ideal. But when you are about 40 years old, the vessels get a little bit stiff. When the heart pumps, the wave travels a little too fast. It comes back a little too fast, and it actually enters into the systole. So what you get is actually a wave and extra load for the heart to actually fight. So you are fighting your oncoming wave. Does the person feel anything? The answer is no. Now if you were to look at an 80-year-old, you actually see a very stiff artery, and when the heart pumps, the wave travels so fast, it comes back right at you at the systole. So what you end up with is the wave goes up, and then it is augmented or increased by the reflected wave, and you spend about 2/3 of the time overcoming the wave, 1 third of the time resting and getting the blood. The heart works harder, the heart rests shorter, and the heart has little time to get its own blood supply. And all this means that the heart will fail, the body is likely to get a stroke, and that is the understanding of what is important for a pulse wave.